Well, on last week's show, we were asking our panelists, can men and women truly be good friends? Without blurring the lines, that is. And they couldn't come to a conclusion, so we've decided to do a part 2 for you on this show. So you don't want to miss this one. Grab your cuppers, ladies and gents who may be watching, and stay tuned for DKW. So welcome to today's DKW show. We've been talking about whether men and women can truly be best friends, or do the lines get blurred sometimes? Well, we've got our panelists back into the studio, but before we go to them, I have my lovely co-presenter Sam with me today.
Hello there, Jen.
How are you doing,
to be here
Sam?
Again. Very well, I have actually been poorly,
Oh,
so
poor
I'm
thing.
just getting over it now.
So we shouldn't be giving you juice right there. We should be giving you a hot cuppa to
I
keep
need
you warm.
everybody else to do the talking today. Help me out.
Well, hopefully they'll be able to do that, because we've got our panelists back in the studio. We have Joy, Goch and Gemma, and then we have the guys. We've got Tony, we've got Jerry, and we've got Daniel. Nice to see you back again.
Nice to see you too.
Good to be back.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
good.
it's always been...
We had a little bit of a storm there.
Are you happy to be back? But do you know what? You guys had so much fun from what I hear when you joined us at Wembley. I mean, who wants to go first with their experience?
Wembley where? Love School?
Yes.
I loved it. I loved every second of it, and the sing-off was my favourite as well. There was a really, really good talent. I felt like I was watching X Factor, but better singers.
Fabulous.
They were really good. I really enjoyed it, and especially the actual Love School event. It was nice to know that there isn't Mr. Perfect, but always almost perfect.
Yeah, almost perfect.
Almost perfect.
Is the new perfect.
That's the
Yes,
one.
I like it. That's it.
That kind of made me feel a little bit better, because I've got a long list of what I want. But yeah, it was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it.
Brilliant. Guys, who wants to go first? How did you find the whole Love School experience?
Yeah, I found the experience really good, to be honest with you. The fact that I could bring my family and friends who have never really experienced something like that before, they got a chance to experience it. And I love the performances from the VYG, because I'm a big fan of Grease Lightning. So yeah, it was really good.
Good entertainment.
You know, it's funny because we always heard before the Love School that there are schools for everything, but there aren't schools for love. And it definitely was that. And I think that's why a lot of people loved the Love School, because you're not taught how to love, how to do relationships. And that's exactly what it did. And what I liked was when the presenters were talking about loving yourself first, the 3 relationships. And when they spoke about the continuation, which is rebuilding yourself, the 7 steps, I thought, I'm going to do that. Because, you know, wherever you are in your life, whatever type of relationship, if you're single, married, divorced, everyone needs to love themselves first.
Right.
And, we can put the details on our website about the course and so on. You can find it on dkw.me. But I thought it was really, really interesting, and I took so much away for myself, which I shall practice.
Jerry, I know you're itching to say something. You can literally grab the mic. I was like, oh.
I really enjoyed it as well. Being in front of the crowd as well, 12,000. To be fair, I didn't want to come off the stage.
Usually people are like, I don't want to come on the stage.
At the beginning I was like that, but then I got a bit more comfortable and didn't really want to come off, but I had to. So, but other than that, I enjoyed it a lot. It was really good experience as well.
That was an experience in itself. There's so much
Definitely.
people. Wow.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. No, I really enjoyed it. I think the main things for me was, as Gemma said, it was mainly focused towards all types of people. So it's single, married, divorced, any stage of where you are really in your love walk or love life. And then I think also for me, the fact that I was able to take it away and discuss with my own friends, family, on a personal level. So even those people that weren't able to attend, I was able to share with them my notes because I was frantically writing notes down.
A lot of people were taking notes.
Yeah, no, it was really important because there were so many snippets that they give. And to be honest, it's things that we know already, but then we just don't apply somehow, or we can't connect all the dots. So in terms of connecting all the dots and how it applies to you personally, it was really good in that sense. So yeah, it was fab. Glad I went.
Fabulous.
For me, it was an exciting day for me and my wife because I took part with other stuff in backstage with the press. And my best thing is I learned now to, if I'm really tired, no matter if my work is go and get a glass of water or something, I don't care. I'm going to go and get that water break because I don't want to have cold shoulders at night time. So to me, I took that on board very, and I really it's an enjoyable day. Yes. I would like to go again next week if possible.
Well, you never know. There might be another one.
Yeah,
but
look forward to that.
Something we did do is our famous red card, green card game, which was absolutely fabulous.
It was fabulous, and that's basically what we're going to be doing today. We're asking the question once again, can men and women really possibly be friends, or is it necessary for them to be friends? And that's where we're going to use our green cards. So, as we know, our green card is, can anyone tell me, remind us?
Yes. Yes.
And our red card?
No. No.
That's right, so false and true. So we're going to get our panel to use our cards with us today.
Well, you know
and
what?
see how we get on.
The funny thing is, from last week's show, the general consensus was no, they cannot. Well, let's see if you still stick to your opinions on this one. I'm going to read a little thing from, I think it's
We've got a few scenarios, Jen, that we're going to show to them. So we have a section of scenarios which we're going to run through, and hopefully you'll be able to use your cards. Enjoy using your cards.
Yeah, but we've got Jessica Henriquez, who's a writer, who also wrote that there is no doubt the female friendships hold hefty values in life, but friendships with women exhaust me. So this is a female from female to female who's saying that friendship basically exhausts her. So you know when you've got that girlfriend who's pretty much always draining out your energy, ladies, and she's always speaking to you. Well, she's basically saying that she'd prefer to have male friendships instead. Sam, I mean, what do you think about that? Before I go to the panel, what do you think about? Do you think?
You know what I'm thinking about? What's on my mind is that I'm looking at Gemma and I'm not seeing them with their red cards. So I would like you to do something for me. Can you just pass this red and green card to Gemma, please? And I think I'm hoping
it's live TV, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm hoping that they're going to bring some more red and green cards.
Do you know what? In fact, while they're getting the green cards, Sam, I want to hear your opinion.
Tell me.
Do you think generally that women, they suck out the energy out of other women, so they just prefer to be friends with guys instead of other women? What's your consensus?
I don't 100% agree with that. I don't think every woman is that way inclined. I mean, I like both men and female company, but I wouldn't say that I suck the energy out of my girlfriend. So I can't say I agree with that because I'm quite female myself.
All right then. Well, now that they've all got their green card or red card, what do you think? I mean, it's a bit weird for the men, I guess, because it's kind of different. But do you think, for example, when it comes to men, they kind of like really are clingy at times, and so you prefer to have female friends, and on the flip side, for women, women, they just suck the energy out of you. That's why you need to have male friends, so friends of the opposite sex. What do you think? Do you agree that same-sex friendships is to both? Same-sex friendships, basically, do you think that they're boring? So that's green card if you're in agreement, and red card if you don't agree.
A bit of both.
See, the guys are completely different.
Well, someone's on the fence there.
No, I
can't be on the fence today.
I'm not. I agree with that, actually.
Do you think female friends are boring at times?
Okay, so boring. Let's insert the word with instead maybe, I don't know, demanding. Because the thing is, okay, let's face it, ladies, as girls, sometimes we are a bit draining with each other. We get hormone. There's a number of things, really. Whereas with a guy, they're pretty much consistent. Sometimes with ladies, we're not as consistent with each other as we should be. So I think we can all admit to that. So that's why I agree with it. Okay, boring might not be the word, but I still agree partially. So it's a green for me.
Really? Okay, do you know what, guys? You are kind of on the fence here. Jerry, what's your opinion? You've got the mic.
I just feel like you basically need a balance as well at the same time. You can't have too much female friends. You can't have too much male friends as well. So I just feel, you need to have a balance.
Yeah?
I think female friends are great. I think they're really good because, for example, you know, like Joy is saying, sometimes they can be draining, okay, but then they don't understand what... Sometimes you can't relate to a man as you would to a female. And I think the same is for the guys as well. Sometimes women just don't get it. Like maybe they... Like, you know, I was talking to a friend just now before I came, and it's funny because I was saying to him, like, I would like to talk about my feelings, etc. And he was like... Guys, we're not just going to sit and have a deep conversation about our feelings. Is that true, guys? Do you know what I mean?
No, but I think most guys sometimes it's hard because if you have too much male friends, they could bad influence you completely. Because some men talk about bad things about girls. Are you with me? And if you're with your partner and your friends tell you bad things about women, you're going to wait a minute, you can't agree with him. Because if you go home, she's going to beat you. So you got to be careful having both of them, like either too much female, too much men, and you know you have to have it's in between really.
That's why I say you need to have
in
that
between.
balance.
So okay, but I mean this Jessica, I mean she's actually saying that every woman needs a male friend because you know men are like cheerleaders, you know they when they give compliments they really mean it, they give a compliment, but girls will just kind of just give a compliment just for the sake of giving a compliment.
I don't think
that's what this Jessica says.
Well, Gotchin, what do you think?
I don't think she has really good female friends because the female friends I have are like cheerleaders and they do, you know, cheer me on, and because especially if you have friends that you've had for a very long time, they know you. So in terms of draining out, I don't know exactly what she means by that. And also there are some guys who are just sensitive to talk to. So I might be able to vent out with my female friends and she can take it. She's a woman and she understands that. But with a guy, you start venting out and they start, you know, being all defensive. So
I know where she's coming from though, because some women can be very catty and I think that guys have less of that, to be honest. I think some women, they're very competitive with other women. So you see, for example, there are women that will only be friends with males. Do you know what I mean? Because they don't want female friends. And I know Sam's spoken about this on the show before, but I agree with Gulchin in the sense that anyone who is catty and not a cheerleader for me, I don't consider a friend.
So to back up what Gotchin said, I think it's really about quality of friends, maybe not so much the quantity. And the second thing is also, sorry Sam, you mentioned about the fact of women not being, what was it, complimentary, something about
that women don't actually they don't mean it, they give, I think compliments for just giving it.
I personally think it's the opposite. I think that men quite often sometimes they're not always so genuine with the compliments, but then they think that's a softer way. But I mean there's always exceptions to the rule. But then also I think women, I know if a woman compliments me it's probably more meaningful than when a guy does, because if that makes sense, because a woman's not expecting.
Well, can we have a vote? Let's see on the vote. So, let's see who agrees or disagrees on whether.
I was going to say green card if you think women give better compliments and it's usually genuine, or red card if you disagree and you think that most times men give more genuine compliments.
Gosh, I don't know, I'm on the fence.
Oh, good one.
I'm not on the fence, but I disagree for both. I think it determines on the individual.
Yeah.
And I think it determines on the person who's you're actually being friends with. Okay. For instance, I feel there is no wrong or right answer because you're going to meet different individuals, different personalities, different people in life. So when you meet these people, depending on your personality, that's how you attract someone. For instance, we could be in a room together, me and Jerry could get along, but then me and somebody else could not get along, but they get along with Jerry, or they get along with me, and you see where I'm coming from? So
that's rich coming from Daniel. The reason why I say that is because the other day, when Daniel and I were actually having a discussion, he knew I was a bit tired. So as it is, I knew you know what you were doing. He actually gave me a compliment to try and open me up. So you know what I'm talking about, ladies, right? It worked.
That's because we needed her for the show.
No, it worked. It did work, admittedly, but then he's smooth. He knows what he's doing. So he did that because he knew I was feeling a bit tired, like I'm saying, and it was just to bring me out of my shell a bit. So
it was strategic, but it's because I'm your friend, though.
Right.
Because I'm your friend.
But the thing is, did you mean it or not?
This is exactly
but I didn't give her a compliment. I didn't give her a compliment.
Oh, what was it then?
I didn't give you a compliment.
I thought it was a compliment.
What did I say?
You were like, you said, do you work out? I was like, huh?
I don't recall saying, do you work out?
He said, see, you're so smooth, he doesn't.
But you know what?
Well, I'm so smooth, she's getting it confused.
Just to break it up a bit, it's funny because I feel that a lot of times guys don't notice things about women. So if they do make a compliment, then it is genuine.
It's normally genuine.
Yeah, I feel that. But
Sorry.
yeah, go on.
I agree with Gemma.
A genuine compliment to women, but also the women do give compliment to men the same way. Because like my wife give me compliment every day. You know?
Yeah.
And I respect that because I have to give the same thing. But if I was like wasn't genuine to her, then she goes, I start looking horrible. Like, oh, you look nice. And then she didn't like the dress. And then somebody goes, oh, that just looks terrible. Then, are you with me? But that's false pretending, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
You with me? So
and you know one thing women are good at as well. I'm not sorry to be bashing the ladies out there, but backhanded compliments. That's really what she's talking about.
When you say a backhanded compliment, could you explain? Could you elaborate? What do you mean?
What do you mean by that, Gemma?
Yes.
That's when they don't mean it. You know, sometimes they say something. It might be about a new, I don't know,
Your hair looks great, and actually the hair doesn't look at all.
Yeah, sometimes it's sarcastic. Yeah, or sometimes if you've got, say, a new relationship, oh, I see you two are together. I'm really happy for you.
That's so not cool.
Yeah, you know,
normally
you look great. Yeah, you look great together.
Yeah,
and then you kind of know. So I think
genuine.
in terms of this, and I think that's why I think this Jessica lady, some of the stuff she's saying is not totally.
Yeah, I agree with that, Gemma. I agree with you,
At
Gemma.
one point here, she goes, the next point is that every woman should have a male friend because he is a lifesaver. Whenever there's a wedding or you're dateless, he can be your perky plus one and save you from a family fight.
Terrible.
Is that a good enough reason? Vote green if you agree.
Can I say
nice.
before anybody answers
And
any
vice
questions?
versa.
He wants to say something.
I've
beforehand.
noticed that male friends are used as like
but girl,
everything. We're
that's
used
not
for
on.
advice.
Yeah.
We're used for blocking out other males. We're used for plus ones.
Yeah, I
like
agree.
where's the genuine friendship?
Tell me about it.
Yeah,
I
but
think it's really
exactly
bad.
the point.
I agree.
It's a good
I agree.
question.
I agree with Daniel.
So okay, can I see the votes then, the genuine votes? Because I'm seeing different cards. Let me clarify. Green card is you agree with what she's saying about. A green card if you agree, and red card if you disagree. Gotchin, you are a green card.
Yes, surprisingly. I agree because there are some friends I have when something's broken in the house. I will call them to help me fix because they're my friend and I don't have to pay them. So there is, and I think the friendship comes with favours. So if he wanted something, I could, but it's just because they're the opposite sex that it becomes more helpful. For example, if you need a date for a wedding.
I must admit, I can go with that one because I mean, my husband did me a lot of favours before we.
But he's your husband.
Yeah,
now.
but no,
Before. Yeah, I'm saying maybe he had you in mind. That's why he did it.
But we have a caller on the line by the name of KB. I want to find out what KB has to say. Hi, KB. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm alright. You're alright? How
Yes,
you doing?
I'm good. So what is your views on this particular topic? Do you think men and women can be good friends? Yes? No?
No.
No.
Okay.
Yes, and
I
then you
want
said
to
no.
comment on what you just said earlier about saying.
Sorry? I didn't really laugh. Okay, but KB,
the men give compliment to a lady.
When a man gives a compliment to a lady.
So when a man gives a compliment to a lady, do you think that...
When man give compliment on ladies, they don't really mean it. I'll be straight with you.
They don't really mean it, KB. Is that coming from the male perspective? Thank you very much, KB, for your call. Guys.
Wait, no. Why doesn't he think?
I would like to have heard why.
Yeah, why does...
Can I just say, as a guy, as a guy, I always feel, and I always feel offended as well, when people generalize guys or generalize what they do as what other people do. Yeah. At the end of the day, everyone's an individual, and some people may be more inclined because of their upbringing or because of where they've been to be a different way. For instance, I grew up with women, so I always take on board how women feel within my life. because I've always done that with my mother and my sister. So he's maybe a very man's man that's never grown up with women and feels like, oh, if I give a compliment, then I'm doing it because I have to get the attention of the woman, where in my case, it's not like that. I don't feel like that at all.
I do agree. I agree with Daniel, because I grew up.
But do you know what, Tony? I'm so sorry. We need to go to a break. So I want to hear your opinion after this break. We'll be back shortly. Hello, everybody out there. This is DKW. On today's show, we're asking the question, can men and women truly be good friends without blurring the line? And it's getting quite heated here with our panel. They're getting quite, argumentative. But Sam, we also had a caller, so would you like to give everyone the
Yes,
number
let's
to
give
call?
the details. If you can give us a call on 0207 686 6300, and you can also contact us by email on comments@dkw.me. Also, we have our social network, Facebook. If you look on your screen right now, you'll see the details.
Yep, that's it. And you know what was so funny? We also had a few comments that had come in. We had one from Benita. She said, can men and women be friends? ? Well, it's difficult to say. It depends on what you mean by a good friend. If a woman is talking to one specific boy every single day, sharing everything about herself to him, then no, I don't think a man and a woman can just be good friends. Do you agree? Gemma's like... Agree. You don't really know.
So she said, if they speak.
Yeah, if they're talking every day, all the time, can they be good friends? Do you think it's healthy or it's not healthy?
How do you agree that they can be friends? Did you agree with her comment?
Yeah, well, did you agree with her comment?
I agree if they
speak
speak all the time. Depends on what sense.
Okay, well, the ladies, it's so funny, all the ladies at the front are green and all the guys are red, well, minus you. Ladies, would you like to say why you're green?
Do we agree that they can't be friends? Was that the question?
No, she's not. I was saying, do you agree? Every day. Do you agree with their comment? She's saying if they talk every day, then they cannot be good friends.
I agree with that. I agree.
I got it now.
I agree completely.
Why?
I agree.
Well, because you're going to form an emotional attachment over some time. I mean, do these two individuals have a boyfriend or a girlfriend? I mean, the space that they're feeling, the frequency, the intimacy, the kind of things you're discussing, you just become emotionally dependent on the person in the end. So, of course, it goes without saying that in the end there'll be a bond of some sort.
Because you're sharing things about each other.
This is it. And who do you talk to every day and share things about yourself with the opposite sex? That should be your boyfriend or partner.
Oh, that's a very good point.
Exactly.
Well, we've got the next comment here from Excel. She says, I think it is possible just to remain friends. Men and women do not have to have romantic attractions to each other. It would certainly be an impossibility to have feelings for every member of the opposite sex that you are friends with. Do you agree with that statement? Green for yes, red no. Let me say it again. She's saying she's basically saying it's possible because you're not physically attracted to everyone of the opposite sex. So if you happen to have a friend of the opposite sex, then it's not that big of a deal because it's not all the time that you have to have some sort of romantic attraction to that person.
But it's true, but there's deep you go because you can see people sometimes and be attracted to them, but that doesn't mean that you like them as a character. So you can be like, oh, that's an attractive person, but at the end of the day, that's just face value. That doesn't mean that you like the person. You have to get to know the person to like them.
Right, and isn't it through getting to know them, talking to them, somebody you might not have thought was attractive, in the end, you end up being attracted
Of
to
course
them, right?
you do. And I agree with that.
Most relationships start as friends anyway. Most relationships start as friends. But like you said, if that person is single, then it's fine. You can talk to that lady. But if he or she have a partner, how come they're not confirming their partner? Why they talk to each other about their problems? So there's something is not quite right. So I disagree.
I think what she meant was like if you're the kind of person who have lots of male friends, you don't like every single one of them. And I can agree with that to a certain extent because when you're a group of friends, you can get along with, let's say colleagues, like there's a few guys there and you can get along with them, and it doesn't mean you're attracted. But what the previous person said was that if you're on the phone to them every day, that's when, I think when you focus on one person, that's what happens.
Yeah. Well, here's this next comment. I hope you pronounce your name well. It's Ketsamutsi. She says,
well done, Jen.
she says, I think it's not appropriate, but if they happen to be, then definitely there should be some boundaries and they cannot be too close. Agree, green card, or disagree, red card?
She said if there is boundaries, they can be...
Yeah, she said there should be boundaries and they cannot be too close.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, so now seeing as everyone agrees, what would you consider then a boundary? What should be a boundary?
Just one quick thing I want to say. One thing I just want to introduce is that you can have acquaintances, guys that you just know about, and there aren't friends. So for me, I do have acquaintances, but I wouldn't be on the phone giving them a phone call. I don't have their numbers, but when I see them around, hi, how you doing? You know, have a quick catch up. That's it. They're not somebody I would classify as a friend. It's an acquaintance.
So that's a bit different.
Yeah, friends. I've had
Friends
this
are
long
friends.
conversation with
Friends.
Yeah, don't stay over at my house if you're a male, for example. If you're a friend, then, because my girlfriends, I would let you stay over at my house. And this is what I was talking about, the levels of friendship. I don't think that men and women can be best friends. Because for me, a best friend, she could stay at my house. I'll tell her about my relationships. I'll tell her about if my day was terrible or not. I don't think that you could do that with someone of the opposite sex and not develop a relationship.
How can you have pyjama parties?
Yeah. If you're just a friend, if you're just a friend, for instance, and I meet you, like even say once in a while for coffee or something, just to catch up. I don't see you for a while, or, you know, we'll just say hi, bye, or if we work together, then I think that's completely fine.
But then, you know what, I know we've got another comment, and I'm swiftly going to move to the next comment, but what would you, because no one's told me what an actual boundary is. Like, you've got rules, but...
Sleeping over at each other's houses.
So that's a boundary, a boundary there.
Late night phone calls is a boundary.
Yes.
That's definitely one boundary.
Definitely.
I think the biggest boundary...
Yeah. Telling them problems in your relationship if you've got one.
I was going to say the biggest boundary for me
You would think that was a big boundary.
is having a partner. Like, if you
Yeah,
have a partner, that's the biggest boundary. That's it.
The boundary.
Once you finish.
I think the partner would cut it off. She would make that boundary.
Exactly.
Well, I've got Vivian here. This is what Vivian is saying. She goes, it depends on the friendship that they have. If they set limits, then it's fine. So it's similar to what you're saying. But we've got Anonymous here who did not want to leave their name, okay? I hope you're watching, Anonymous. Well, he says, ... Since it takes two to tango and women are less likely to act on a romantic notion held by guys, the real answer is yes, they can just be still friends.
That's interesting.
Do you agree?
I don't get it.
I do, I get it. I think I agree. I got it, Jen, yeah. I kind of agree, especially the last part.
Really?
So yeah, about them not acting on us not acting on a romantic notion. Well, I know that I don't. Even if I saw someone that I thought might be attractive and they were a friend, I wouldn't necessarily tell them.
But
in fact, I wouldn't tell them.
But this is the thing.
Joy,
I got
Are you honest
sorry.
about it?
I'm gonna throw this back to you, and I want you to answer as honest as possible. I got you to define some of these boundaries here. If these boundaries are not in place, do you not think that those romantic notions might start to stir up?
They do, even without the boundary. But, you know, they do even... That's why it's an attraction sometimes. That's why it's just... You shouldn't have male friends, because it's so... The lines are so blurred sometimes. It gets so difficult. That's why I just think, unless two people are on the same page at the same time every day, it gets so difficult. That's what
I would like to know...
Most men, they see the boundary. They don't care.
Right.
Boundary or no boundary, they just want that girl for one thing. They tell them lies about, I just want to be your friend. But most that is a lie.
It's funny because women can play that game as well.
Women are very good at playing.
Some women, they want that guy to be there because they've got another intention as well. I think it's on both sides, because I know some women, even some acquaintances I've got, and they are like that. They want that guy there to string him along because they know that he has an interest or something, and they're, no, you'll just be my friend, you'll just be my friend.
Like the fulfillment of having...
To make the other partner jealous as well.
This is
look.
Yeah.
You know,
or sometimes to make their partner jealous. Yeah.
I'm that age. I don't care. You don't find me attractive. I'm going to show you I can still pull.
Well, do you think that men are likely to fall for the friend more?
Yeah.
Or vice versa?
I can't really comment on that personally.
You think women are more likely?
People would...
Can we have a vote?
Okay, green card women, red card men.
I think.
Cherry,
I'm gonna go none.
I think.
I think it's
going to be hard. Isn't it?
yeah. I think you can't really call that, but you could say sometimes women are a bit more emotional compared to men. So I guess I probably would say women.
I think women, I agree with Jerry. Do you know why?
Yeah, me
Because
too.
when a woman is looking for a relationship, I think she's looking for all those things that a friend will give
Yes.
her.
Yes.
And sometimes you even find that even if you're with someone, like you wish he would be like your girlfriend, although you know he can't be, but sometimes you end up I wish you'd talk to me more, I wish you'd hug me more, I wish you'd compliment me more. And those are the things that your girlfriends would probably give you. And that's why I think you've got to have both kinds of, like you've got to have your partner, but you also need to keep your female friends. But I think if a woman has this guy that she can talk to and he's really nice, the fact that he's a friend anyway, sensitive, the fact that he's a friend means they've got stuff in common and he's a potential.
Guarantee at some point she's going to end up liking him.
Well,
I think so.
I've got another game for you guys. I'm going to throw it there. If there was ever a time when a friendship between a man and a woman can flourish without any romantic interests or weird vibes, I'm going to let Sam call out these ones. And then you can let us know if you agree or not.
Okay. You have children together. Okay? That's the first one. You have children together.
Do you agree that, no romantic things might go on if you have children together? And let's say you've had children together and you've just broken up, for example. So you've just broken up.
And you want to remain friends.
So in other words, men can be friends if they have children together.
I think if it's more than a year.
Red is a no, right?
Red is a no, green is a yes. They can be friends.
Oh, I'm on the You know why? Because I don't think that you're friends. I think that it's almost like a business relationship. You realise that we've got a child and we need to get on for the child. So it's like what you do at work. You don't think, I absolutely love the person I sit next to. I'm so happy that we're working together. No, you get along because you have to work with that person. So you make it work. I think that's how you got it. But to be friends, I don't know.
Jerry's
But Gemma, don't you think you've already built that connection with that person already? So therefore it's going to be sometimes quite hard, and because you've been there before, you know what it's like to be with that person. It's going to be quite hard to say no to that person.
To say no, how? Like to a relationship?
Like to a relationship, yeah.
No, I think that sometimes when you're in a relationship with someone and you realise all the reasons why you've broken up and you realise we're not right for each other, but you happen to have a child, you can't change that. You can't change the fact that you've got a child, and for the sake of the child, you've got to be adults about it.
Yeah,
but
mature.
you realise that we don't have to be.
A child is not an instrument.
Yeah,
That's
a child's got
right.
feelings.
Exactly.
Exactly, and
you
they
said,
need both of you to
it
get
takes
on.
2 years to start
That's
that
right.
life.
Yeah.
Then you got to say that why did you break up the relationship, or how did you start it first, and then why did you break the relationship? If it didn't work out, because I went through that myself, and I want to say you can't remain friends.
Yeah.
You have to be that partner for life.
Yeah.
Right, can we swiftly move on to number 2, please?
Golden had a good point. though.
Okay,
I wanna
let's hear
it.
you first, Georgine.
I've been in that position,
Yeah.
and the thing is, when you're with someone and the reasons you break up, when you split up, because you don't have the indifferences, you kind of get along better because you're not together. So the most problems in a relationship is because you are together and they don't like what the other person's doing. And so when that's kind of cooled down, you start to see the better qualities, and obviously there's memories that you've had, so they'll be like, normal conversation, they could talk about something that happened when you were together, and that's because you're always going to see each other because you do have a child. So I think, it is a bit difficult.
Yeah, it can get complicated.
Can we swiftly move on? Okay, let's go to number 2. If one or both has a partner, is it appropriate to have a best friend or friend of the opposite sex? Red card means no, and green card yes.
Well, this one's This one's pretty simple.
Wow.
I mean, it was discussed
Easy peasy.
earlier. What's the next one?
Okay, let's move on. Okay, men and women can be friends when the men and women are at a different stage of their life.
Stage.
I'm not sure.
What would you say?
Age age category.
Maybe they've probably age. Yeah. Probably. I think they mean age. It's got to be.
Ooh, do you agree that it works? Green card, yes, or red card, no?
Different stage, maturity. Maybe they've gone through certain experience and they're more mature.
I believe
Yes.
Age doesn't make you mature all the time. That's the problem.
That's very true.
But I think in terms
maturity.
Yeah, I think in terms of stage, if you call it say maturity, and let's not put an age on it, then I think that yes, because I think when you're immature, you're more likely to play games.
Yes.
So you know what the caller said, like, oh, we pay compliments and he's got a different intention, etc. When you're more mature, you realise, you know what, I'm not going to play these games anymore.
Yeah,
Do you know
but
what I
then
mean?
I think, sorry, I understood the question to be, it's almost as if they're at different stages or
Different
ages.
levels.
Yeah. So for that reason, I don't feel they can be friends. So you might have a mature person dealing with an immature person. So that could be the male or female, whichever the way it is.
Yeah.
So just kind of linking in with what you've just said. So one of them could be mature playing games. The other one could be about that at all, but then they're doing all of that. So that's why I don't feel that it was a genuine friendship.
But then I think
sense.
to be friends, it's got to be mutual. So then if that person considers that they're mature, then they won't even be a friend to that immature person. Do you see what I mean?
I agree with you, because it is true. Because you're a certain age and you were mature, you will respect that person's feeling. You're not going to go and play, what's his name?
Casanova.
Brad Pitt outside. You don't pick Brad Pitt.
I think we got it. Let's move on to number 4. It says he or she is your best friend's boyfriend or girlfriend. Ooh.
He or she.
Is your best friend's boyfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for
He,
example,
she.
let's say we're friends.
Yeah.
Us ladies, we're friends, but your boyfriend happens to be my best friend.
Before or after they became
No,
It doesn't make a difference.
Doesn't
Well, in my
matter.
personal,
You know, it does.
Could be before.
It does. If you were friends before, that's not a problem. If you're best friends after, how
How did that happen?
How? Like,
Joyce, so
to get worried, like, what's
So-
going on?
Would you allow your husband to remain having a best friend?
continuing.
that one.
How
That
did
one.
he miss me and become best friends with my girlfriend?
But then also, Sam, I think. Hold on, guys. I think also, Sam, the thing is, like you're saying, I mean, the fact that they're friends before isn't so much of a problem. I wouldn't see that so much of a. I can think it's less of a problem than if they became friends when we're together. That one is more of a problem to me.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
Can I just, do you know what? I'm so sorry, Tony. I want to give you a scenario because I know of a person where the person was, they were with someone, and what happened was their other half, or their partner or boyfriend, started to take interest in their best friend. And initially they were just friends. So it's like, let's say, you know, you're going out, and like you and your partner, or you and your boyfriend or whatever, they go out, but they're always going out with your friend and their boyfriend. And then before you know it, they have more in common than you and your partner do.
That's why we're laying it down.
Yeah, it has to be a rule, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No.
That
If she
down.
was a true friend, she would never start that thing in the first place. If she was a truly true friend, the best friend of yours, she would never.
But I'm just saying they actually just had something in common. It's like, for example, let's say she loves football, her partner, or not even spouse, boyfriend likes basketball. But, you know, let's say the other friend's partner, they also like football too, and the other one likes basketball. So they're having a conversation about football, and then you're left on the side, well, the other one's left on the side like, oh, we're not talking about basketball anymore. And the other one on the other side, well, what would you then do?
Let's not put ourselves into tempting situations. That's why
That's
I
what I
don't
wanted
feel.
to clarify.
That's why I
That's
don't
what I
feel.
wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
The reason why you can be friends, sorry, is like with me, my boyfriends, I'll always have their friend's number, because when I can't get through to him, I'll like call him to see. So sometimes you do have a certain kind of friendship with your boyfriend's friend, because just to know where they are. And I know a lot of girls who that does happen. They'll go, you know, vent out at his friend, so his friend can talk to her boyfriend, so they can find out.
You're not going to go.
No, you don't go to movies.
I'm only friends with my partner's friends because of him.
Yeah.
If he was, if he didn't exist,
I agree.
No,
it's true.
you know, if he didn't exist, then see you later. Do you know what I mean? Why are we friends?
We know that. We all know that there is a big risk factor here. I mean, even thinking about you, you spoke a lot in part 1 of this show, Tony, and you actually, you know, went actually into a full-blown relationship.
Yeah, I did, yes.
With your friends.
I
I'd
did.
like to hear a bit more about that, please.
Yes, it started about two and a half years ago, I think. The girl was a woman was in our family group. And we were all best friends and everything else for 18 years or 20 years or so.
Wow, so it was a long time.
Yeah. And I knew her husband and everything else. But we never look at each other in that way until 3 years after her husband passed away. Then we started looking at her, but my wife wasn't aware what was going on in the house. And I felt like I was comforting her in her grief. But obviously, we have tackled this topic already. Can we be friends? Yes, but can we also become lovers? Yes, we can, because it did happen to me.
I mean, but what caused you to betray your wife?
Yeah,
What happened?
Yes.
Yeah.
We want to hear the nitty-gritty spice.
Well, what happened was it was betrayal from the beginning of my relationship. After 23 years of marriage, there was betrayal. My wife betrayed me first, and I found
Okay,
out.
so it started with your wife
Yes,
betraying you
that's
first.
right, yeah, at first,
So
yeah.
that made you think, well, if my wife's betraying me, I'm going to go
tick
ahead
for tack. You
Yeah.
know, so why not? Because I tried, it wasn't working. So I started to consider myself with this lady, and we got along very fine. And we started doing things separately from that my wife didn't know.
Really?
Like,
So you were actually literally going out with her?
dating,
and
yeah.
dating her
Dating
without your
every
wife
day.
knowing
Yeah, without
anything
knowing.
about that? Wow,
going
that's
out, even,
very bizarre.
we went. I went to experience driving weekend. Oh, that was Saturday.
I mean, didn't you feel guilty, Tony? I mean,
Well,
your
there's-
wife. I mean, I'm not saying she's innocent for betraying you, but I'm sure when you had the relationship, was you and your wife still in disagreement, or had you made up?
No, our house was like we were playing what you call it, happy houses in our house. We did not pretend that we had a marriage problem in front of the family. We play, everything is fine. And sometimes my brothers and my sister will have been in the house at a barbecue party that when we have, and this lady will be there, and I will act normal. I will pass around and touch her, casually in front of my wife. And I
think we're going to hear a bit more about this after the break, Jen.
We'll hear more about this after the break, because the one thing I'm going to ask you after the break is maybe because she thought you two were just good friends, she never suspected anything. But we'll be back after this break. Hello and welcome to Hello, welcome to today's DKW show. I'm getting all tongue twisted because we were discussing Tony.
I think you're a bit shocked from Tony's scenario.
I really genuinely
I think we're gobsmacked.
Do you know what, Tony? So when did it all get to the pinnacle of everything, and then when did your wife find out? Because eventually she must have found out.
Yes, she did. Yes, it all come to into light Valentine's week.
Wow.
Valentine's week.
Valentine's week. But how did you resolve the situation? Did you leave your wife? Did you go off remain with the other woman? What happened?
What happened is she told me what's going on, because someone mentioned to her what's going on, and she didn't want to believe it. But the reality hit home. And I told her the truth, and she goes, who it is? And I mentioned the lady's name. And and big thing, all the boys was there.
What was that girl's sin?
So it's quite honest, because not every guy would be honest about it when it's found out. So it's just honest.
Yeah, it's no point because it's out in the open, so the lid was been open. So I eventually told her, and I stayed a week, a whole week in the house with her, and not try to mend things until I found a place to live. So eventually I left her. Left her completely.
Okay.
And,
you left your wife, or you left the other woman?
No, I left my wife and children.
What?
Really?
Your wife and children?
Yes, I left them. And
So can I ask you a question? Are you actually with your wife today, or are you with the other woman? What was the result?
Today, I'm happily back with my wife, my boys.
And how did that happen?
Yes.
How did you manage to get back with her?
Well, someone comes.
How did she forgive you, for goodness sake?
Well, first of all, I tried. When I went back home, I tried it on my own, but I couldn't. We had issues. The issue was with me as well as with her. I couldn't forgive her for what she did. So then someone invited me to a place where I could seek advice, and I went there, and the advice I got really helped me. They said to me, first of all, you had to start with yourself. Look in the mirror.
So you had to really look into yourself.
That's right, yeah. To find to myself, why did I did what I did, and why can I forgive her?
Right.
Because we're not all perfect.
I mean, do you have something to say, Golson? You're itching there.
So I just want to say, usually, you left the affair back for your wife, but I've been on the other end of the stick where I was with someone who was in a relationship with someone else.
No.
I have as well. It's not a nice feeling.
Because you're always seeing the home wrecker and the other person, but for me, I genuinely didn't see myself I saw it as he's mine. And so I thought, like, I'm not doing anything wrong, and also because I knew him before he was with this other person.
So you were friends,
Okay,
so
so
the whole friends thing.
Yeah.
Friends,
And then
That's why friends.
Which in my personal opinion does not justify it, but
it
carry
doesn't
on.
justify, and it was really hard to get out of, because as a woman, I did start to feel bad for the other person as well, but it's just yeah, I just had to get out those
Sorry,
feelings.
I'm sorry. Are you still friends with the said?
The answer to that
That's
is
an
no.
interesting question. Are you still friends?
No, we're not friends.
Yeah.
Because if we're women friends, then there was no reason to go on, to carry on with my relationship with my wife.
I think that wouldn't be very
That's not a very wise thing to
for
do.
your
So
friend.
I had to end that relationship now and then.
I mean, what have you learned from this situation? What have you learned?
I learned 3 things actually. First
on.
of all, love the
Spit it
one
out.
you're with, okay? And trust your wife again, because she is your best friend, your companion, and a partner for life. And you can tell her everything, and she will give you all the answer. And then don't confide in other people, or like your female friends, about your relationship at home, because what goes on in your house
That
should
is
stay in your
very good
house.
advice.
That's a very good point.
Can I say what I quickly learned? I think that he had unresolved issues with his wife that he swept under the carpet, and that's why he cheated in the first place, because your wife cheated first.
And he tried to resolve it with
Yes,
this woman.
and then he had, I think when you've got trust issues, then it opens doors to other things, because I was thinking, why was he consoling the best friend? If the wife's also best friend, she should be consoling, or you console together.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that, Jem. Good point.
And I just say that's very manly of you as well to look at yourself first and
in reflection.
reflect yourself.
Yeah.
So because there would have been a lot of guys as soon as they heard that their wife cheated on them, that would have been the end of it.
Yeah.
So,
You must
It's
have
true.
gone to the affair because you thought you'd be happier. How comes you realised that that affair wasn't better than your wife, and what made you like go back to her? Because some people leave the wife and stay with the person.
Yes,
they
it
don't
does
want
happen.
to.
Yeah,
So-
they don't want to reconcile.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Why I could have carried on with the love affair, but the thing is, what was missing is there was 23 years. I thought, can I put another start 23 years with a woman?
Right.
You with me? And I got my children. It wasn't just the wife I was
Exactly.
hurting; it's the boys.
It's not just about
They were
you.
divided myself from them, and we became strangers. There's time that me and my son would not look at each other in the face, like they didn't have no respect for me. I thought, this is my son. If one day I want to become a granddad, what good example am I going to set to my grandchildren?
That's it.
So we can only say it's not something we recommend.
No,
Definitely
it's
not.
You know what? I even want to conclude on that note. Can men and women be friends? They can be friends, but it depends on what type of friendship you're talking about. If it's general acquaintances, then I don't think that there is a problem. But when you're talking about too close a friend, best friends, that's where boundaries get blurred, lines become grey, and then before you know it, you might be in a romantic situation. So in DKW, we say it's head over heart. You don't want to allow your emotions to go too involved into a relationship with the opposite sex, because you never know where it could lead you. Would you like to add anything on that, Sam?
Well, yeah, I would just like to say that, be wise. Don't put yourself, you're talking about your whole lifestyle. You're going to destroy everything that you have built. So I don't think it's worth it. So I think friends, boundaries.
And I think you should also take responsibility as well. I think that it's up to, if you want to be a different kind of woman, you need to take responsibility for the friendships that you keep. You can't say, oh, he's interested in me, but I wasn't. If you see it going too far, then you need to cut it off.
Set your boundaries.
I agree.
It's been a brilliant show. Panel, we really enjoyed you. Great
Most welcome.
conversation. Tony, thank you for being so honest.
Pleasure to be here. Thank
I'm
you.
telling you,
And all the other panelists.
it was really good. And if you want more information, you can always go to our website, www.dkw.me. Take care and have a great Sunday afternoon. Bye-bye.